Welcome back to the JOTO Show. I'm your host, Jay Lakers and Tony Baloney.
What's good, everybody? This is episode 8 of the JOTO Show. Can't believe we've been doing this for, 2 months now, since every week is an episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months of the JOTO Show, man. Today's October 22nd,
Two
2024.
more two more episodes to episode 10, guys.
We'll reach a good milestone there. Video will be out tomorrow from the time we're recording this, so that would be October 23rd for y'all. Let's get started.
Before I say something, I hope you guys like the poopers. More poopers will be coming out every Friday.
Yep, so be sure to look forward to those.
Yep.
What's going on, sports world? To start off, as of time of we're recording this, the Frozen Frenzy is going on. I cannot pull up the exact scores for everyone due to games starting at 8 p.m. Pacific, so that is already 11 p.m. for my buddy here, Jay Lakers. So
Mm-hmm.
some games I looked it up just now; they're still going on. Golden Knights are currently winning 3-0 against the Kings, but it's barely the second period out of 3, so can't really update you guys on that.
Nope.
That would be out like at 1 a.m. for him. So yeah. But yeah, so yeah.
Primetime games. Plus London.
Yep. This was our let's talk about Thursday night football before we talk about London. We had the Broncos taking on the Saints, winning 33-10 in New Orleans. Bo Nix had 164 yards. He didn't have that great of a game. 16 for 26, no touchdowns, so at least no picks though. So that's good for him. But Spencer Rattler, however, did not have a good game, obviously losing, only scoring 10 points. And those 10 points weren't even his touchdown. It was after he was injured in a play, and then they had to throw in their third quarterback. Because reminder, Derek Carr is still hurt with an oblique injury. They had to throw in Jake Hayner, who went 3 for 4, 38 yards and 1 touchdown. Spencer, before leaving the game, 172 yards, 25 of 35, no touchdowns, no picks. This was a great game from Javonte Williams. 2 touchdowns from him, 88 yards on the rushing, and the 23 yards receiving. So pretty good game for Javonte. And yeah. And moving on here, we had our final London game of the season.
Jacksonville was there last week and week 6 and 7, right?
Yep.
2 weeks in a row they were there. They won both, I think. Did they?
No, they lost against the Bears.
Oh, okay, yeah, they lost the first one. Okay. They
Yep.
played twice.
Yeah, so we had New England Patriots versus Jacksonville at Old England. See what I did there? But they lost 16-32.
At
Jags
Old
doubled
England.
their. Yep. Because they're the New England, but they're at Old England.
Okay, yeah. I get it. I was like, what? I'm confused now. I know now, yeah.
Yeah, looking at these stats here, just looking at the quarterback stats, actually, you would think the Patriots have won this game. Drake May, 276 yards, 26 of 37 passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Pretty good for the rookie in his second start. Or third. I already lost count. But Trevor Lawrence, 193 yards, 15 for 20, 1 touchdown. Not a better game statistically for Trevor, but they still got the win. Mainly Tank Bigsby, who did that for the Jags. Looking at these stats here for him, he had 118 rushing yards on 26 carries. That's a lot of carries. He had 2 touchdowns rushing as well.
Dang.
So yeah. Then we had Sunday Night Football, where the New York Jets went to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, losing 15-37. This was Davante Adams' Jets debut. And my oh my, he had a game. 3 catches for 30 yards. All jokes aside, Russell Wilson actually had the better debut. He had 264 yards, 16 for 29 on the passing, and 2 touchdowns. So a pretty good game from Russ. His opponent had QB Aaron Rodgers, 276 yards, 24 of 39, passing 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. What's going on with Aaron Rodgers?
Did not know. This is to be the Jets year. Doesn't look like it. But Aaron Rodgers back from last year for first game.
Mm-hmm. They have the same record as Davante's old team, the Raiders, which we'll get into later on. And even more so, his last game as a Raider, he had 4 catches for 40 yards, 9 targets. So that's an average of 10 yards, right? Not that much for only 4 catches for your star receiver. And this game, 3 catches, 30 yards.
Wow.
So an average of 10 on 9 targets, and losing to the Steelers, when last week the Raiders lost to the Steelers when he was still a part of the team. He lost to the Steelers twice in 1 week.
In 1 week?
Yep. Basically Sunday to Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
Moving on, we had our Monday Night Football, our first Monday Night Football of the week. And that was the Baltimore Ravens at Tampa Bay taking on the Buccaneers, winning 41-31.
Dang.
High-scoring game.
10-point game.
Yeah. It was not close to begin with. It started 10-0 Buccaneers advantage, but then the Ravens just kept scoring and scoring and scoring.
That's the 5th win in a row for Ravens.
That is very much true. To look at when this all scoring happened, 10-0 at the end of the first, and then it was 34-10 at the end of the third. The Ravens scored 34 straight in 2 quarters. Derrick Henry's still doing Derrick Henry things. 169 rushing yards in this game. So, great game for him. Lamar Jackson had 281 yards, 17 out of 22 on the passing, but he had 5 thrown touchdowns. As for Baker, he had 370 yards, 31 of 45 passing, 3 touchdowns, but also those 2 interceptions. Now, the main story from this game isn't about how high scoring this was, isn't the fact that Lamar had 5 touchdowns. It's about the health of the Buccaneers wide receivers. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin both got hurt this game. Mike suffered a hamstring injury, while Godwin suffered a dislocated ankle, which already sounds graphic enough. We're hoping the best for Mike to recover from his hamstring, and especially to Chris for his ankle. But we must move on.
Okay.
To finish off our prime time, we had the Los Angeles Chargers visiting Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Not winning this game, though, losing 15-17. Chargers had 5 field goals, no touchdowns.
And that game only was on ESPN Plus.
Yes, it was only on ESPN Plus. I'm sorry for confusing people by saying it was on Fox. Google is not trustworthy anymore, I swear.
Hmm.
Because that's where it said. And then also recently they
Just
lied to
look.
me about that.
Just look on ESPN app. It will tell you where
I
it
should have, but for some reason I trusted Google.
is.
I was like,
uh,
Fox? Why would it be on Fox?
that's only on Sunday.
Exactly. That's why I was like,
That's Sunday games, not. Uh,
anyways. Yeah.
anyways,
Love to give a few shout outs to some players here. Shout out Will Disley, who had 81 receiving yards for the Chargers, leading all receivers for them. And James Conner, shout out to him from Arizona, 162 total yards, including 101 of them being rushing yards. The reason the Cardinals won this 17-15 was a game-winning field goal by Chad Ryland. So I would love to give a shout out to him too. Chad, great work, man. What's with the laughing?
you'll see in the video.
All right.
uh, Cheerleaders, please put that in the poopers.
Okay.
Editor
So
Tony,
I have
keep it in the breaker too.
As for our quarterbacks here, Justin Herbert had 349 yards, 27 of 39 passing, no touchdowns, as I mentioned, 5 field goals from Dicker the kicker. As for Kyler Murray, he only had 145 yards passing, 14 of 26, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he also did have a rushing touchdown. So good for him.
Sunday night every new games. Okay, let me start over about that. Sunday night every new games. Please, editor Tony, cut that out.
Yeah, we had our Sunday afternoon games, 10 of them again.
5
So
right
let's get started with
here, right?
5 right here, 5 on the next one. Yep. Let's get it started with our first game here. That will be Detroit at the Vikings
The
of Minnesota.
Vikings were on the field in this game, guys. Going into this game.
Heading into this game, yes.
Yeah.
Vikings were 5-0 coming off their bye, taking on the Lions, who were 4-1. So yeah, Vikings lost 31-29 to the Detroit Lions. Goff had a pretty good game, 280 yards, 22 of 25, 2 touchdowns. So the thing about Jared's incompletions, he had 3 this game. He had 7 last game and 0 the game prior. So in the past 3 games, he's thrown a total of 10 incompletions. That's not a lot for a guy that slings it a lot.
Doesn't sound like it.
Put in perspective, Sam Darnold had 22 for 27. That's 5 incompletions, 259, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's 1 game, though. He has double that in 3. And even worse, looking at our last game, looking at back at Monday night's game, the Chargers Cardinals won. Both QBs had 12 incompletions each.
Wow.
So yeah, 10 total incompletions the last 3 games for Jared. He is consistently hitting his target. Like I said, Sam Darnold, 259 yards, 22-27, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So yeah, Lions win 31-29. Next game we have here, Tennessee Titans at Buffalo. This was a little scary for Buffalo at first. They were down, I believe 10-0
Really?
at one point. It was 10-0, and then Buffalo scored the rest. You can fact check this. It's not hard. It was either 10-0, but for sure it was 10-7 at halftime. They decided to score 27 straight, winning 34-10. Josh Allen had 323 yards, 21 of 33 passing, 2 touchdowns, And it's not Will Levis this week. It was Mason Rudolph, who had 215 yards, 25 of 40, passing 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Wait. Mason Rudolph doesn't play for. I think he was a Steelers.
He signed with the Titans last offseason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what? Even though he didn't play, Editor Tony, find the funniest Will Levis picture from this week, please. We need the streak to continue going.
Oh gosh.
Thanks. Moving on to our third game, we had the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Miami Dolphins, winning 16-10. This game had 2 different Dolphins players at quarterback play. We had Tyler Huntley to begin with, 7 of 13 passing, 1 touchdown, and 87 yards. As for his replacement, they threw in Tim Boyle, who had 74 yards, 8 for 13, passing, 0 touchdowns. Both no picks, but still couldn't get the win here. When Anthony Richardson had 129 yards, 10 for 24 on the passing, and no touchdowns as well. This was a very low-scoring game. And it was a snooze fest in my eyes. I was watching a little bit of it, and I'm not even joking when I said this. I actually yawned watching the game. Moving on here, we have the Seattle Seahawks going over to Atlanta, beating them 34-14. Really good game here for the Seahawks. Geno Smith had a couple of touchdowns, 18 for 28, passing 207 yards. As for Big O Kirko Cousins, he had 232 yards, 24 for 35, passing 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
Whoa.
Whoa is correct. And to finish off this screen, we had the Green Bay Packers hosting the Houston Texans, beating them 24-22. Real close game here. The Packers were rocking their winter warning uniforms, as they call it. Pretty good
Winter
name.
Warren. Yeah.
This was one of the most sunniest days in Green Bay, though, so it was weird to wear it on this day.
And what would they wear it during the snowstorm? During the snow.
If they wore it during a snowstorm, that would actually be harder to tell where the heck they are. So
That'd be funny.
that'd be strategic, honestly.
During snow. Not storm like actually when snowing. That'd be funny and hilarious. Same thing with the Bengals too.
Mm-hmm.
White one too. Because it does snow
Oh yeah,
here.
they have a good white one.
Yeah, it snows here too.
Yep. But yeah, looking at these quarterbacks, this was not a close game based off the quarterback stats. CJ Stroud, 86 yards, 10 for 21 passing, so 11 incompletions, no touchdowns. As for Jordan Love, 220 yards, 24 of 33 passing, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
More Sunday afternoon games. Whew.
You can start off with this one. I know you want to.
Yeah, I was listening to the game and watching the game same time, and I just heard 100 yards was it?
Yep.
100-yard kick return touchdown. I think I like the new kickoff rules now. I didn't like the new kickoff thing. Now I do. I think it's easier for them. It's easier to kick off returns now because some teams been doing it already. And that
Yep.
was on the top 10. I didn't see that night. That was top 10 on SportsCenter's play. I did not see what number it was, so I was listening to it. I was like, I heard a touchdown. I was like, the freak! It didn't happen on my phone. The radio's head of my phone. I was like, okay, whatever happens there, I can see it a minute later or whatever. How long delay is? You know what I'm saying? The radio then,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the radio announcer and you have your TV announcer are different. Not same people, different people.
Yeah.
I was listening. I was like, "Oh, we got a touchdown." I was like, "I didn't see it yet." And then I saw. I was like, "Okay." Whatever happened on the radio, I can see it on my phone. Half worse. I was like, "You know what? It's like a replay." It actually wasn't replay because it didn't happen
Mhm.
yet. Who was it? I forget who it was.
It was Charlie Jones for the Bengals who scored the touchdown to start the game off.
He was he was like, "Please no flags, please no." He was worried about it was a flag called inside that one. He almost tiptoe. He's like an inch away from being out too.
Oh yeah, I remember
Oh,
that. I saw that.
oh! When I was watching, I was like, "It was a good game. We
Yeah,
won by one. Thank God."
one score. Yes.
Finally, we have one win in the conference. We're 1-1 now in the conference. We lost against the Ravens. Now we beat the Browns. Now we have to beat the Steelers. I might be going that game
Eventually.
maybe with my
Ooh,
girlfriend.
make sure you take pictures. You can put it on the JOTO Show.
Oh yeah,
I've been trying to go to a Niner game.
yeah. I might be
It's
going
hard.
that game. I don't know yet. Not September or December 1st.
Mm.
We have a long ways to go.
Yeah, I have a lot to talk about this game. Nick Chubb returned to football after suffering his injury back in week 2 of last year when he played the Steelers. Deshaun Watson also got injured and he is reportedly out for the season.
Yeah, I saw. I heard about that. I say no, I touched him. They say he just went right on the ground. I saw that.
Yeah, you could see his whole Achilles just or whatever it was. I believe it was the Achilles. You could just see it basically get destroyed by not putting his foot all the way down, which is the same way Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year in week 1.
He got contact. Uh,
He had contact with him. He was getting tackled, but his legs still
and
like popped as he was running.
this one didn't get
This one,
no contact.
yeah, Deshaun was just trying to run and obviously popped his whole.
Yeah, they had cut him out.
Yeah. So he finished the game 128 yards, 15 of 17 passing, no
You
touchdowns.
know what? He's not. He's. They made a big mistake for not keeping Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah, looking back at it now, for sure.
Oh yeah. I gotta go.
But yeah, so his replacement was Dorian Thompson Robinson at first, rookie last year. Came in 82 yards, 11 for 24, no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So they had to pull the plug on that and give the job to Jameis Winston, famous Jameis, as some know him. For coming in the game late, he had 67 yards, 5 of 11, and a touchdown, so not bad.
I'm glad that they had no more timeouts left to the end of the game. Bengals used their final timeout and they just end the game there when they
Yeah,
scored the
that
14. I'm glad.
this game, honestly, looking at everything, it's like, how is this a one-score game?
I know. I was watching.
As for the Bengals quarterback, this guy knows him well. I know him. It's Joe Burrow. He had a good game, 181 yards, 15-25 passing, 2 touchdowns. Next game we have here, we had the Eagles taking on the Giants.
Eagles 28-3. Oh.
What makes it worse is the guy they got rid of this offseason, Saquon Barkley, had a great game. He had 187 total yards, 176 of them were rushing. So amazing game for the running back. This was technically a revenge game for him. Jalen Hurts, 114 yards, 10 for 14 passing, and 1 touchdown. As for Daniel Jones, 99 yards, 14 of 21 passing, and 0 touchdowns. Not a good throwing game for either either quarterback. Moving on now, we had the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, winning 20-15 against Vegas. We had another injury in this game. We had Aiden O'Connell, the starting quarterback for the Raiders, go down with a broken thumb injury. He's on IR, at least out for 4 weeks. So the replacement, they signed Desmond Ridder from the Cardinals practice squad to be potentially a backup. All right, but yeah, Aiden O'Connell finished the game 52 yards, 6 for 10 passing before suffering that injury. As for his replacement in this game, it was Gardner Minshew, who we've seen before many times. He had 154 yards, 15 of 34, passing no touchdowns, and throwing 3 interceptions. Not a good game for Gardner. Matthew Stafford didn't even have a much better game. He had 2 less interceptions, yes, but also didn't throw any touchdowns, and only had 154 yards, just like Gardner. But Rams still win this 20-15. Moving on.
Our second final game. Second to final.
Our penultimate game here was the Washington Commanders hosting the Carolina Panthers and honestly destroying them in the blowout of the week in my eyes. Jaden Daniels did not play much in this game. He suffered a rib injury and he is week to week, according to the injury people. So we'll see how well the Commanders can do without him, potentially. But honestly, they're fine without him in this game because Marcus Mariota came in, had a pretty good game manager game, 205 yards, 18 of 23 passing, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 34 rushing yards as well. After Jaden Daniels was 2 for 2 for 6 yards and 50 yards of rushing. As for Carolina, they're probably the worst team in the NFL right now.
There's 2 teams.
Who's the other one?
Tennessee
Well, if we're
Titans.
talking, yeah, if
Titans.
we're talking records, I know
Yeah.
their records are the same, but out of these teams, which one's the worst? I think it probably is the Panthers.
Well, maybe the Browns or the Patriots, maybe.
Maybe the Browns, but maybe we'll see how the Browns do without their starting QB. Maybe it's a change, and maybe they start winning. Who knows? Drake May's looking promising in Patriot land now, even though he's not winning games. He's still looking good with the stats. As for the Panthers, if you look at these stats, Andy Dalton trying to mentor Bryce Young throws 93 yards total on 11 of 16 passing, 0 touchdowns, and throwing 2 interceptions.
What's wrong with the Panthers? 4 losses in a row.
They should have lost to the Raiders, honestly. They shouldn't even have a win, basically, is what I'm saying.
Everybody in that division has 1 loss, 1 streak, 1 loss. Like the Falcons and the Tampa Bay lost 1 game. New Orleans is 5 on the 5 losing streak. Everybody in that conference lost. Pretty much.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, we know
We
the
move on. Hey,
Kansas City Chiefs have 6 wins in a row.
we don't want to talk about that, but we have to right now because that is our next game. Kansas City
Yep.
at the San Francisco
That's why I
49ers.
brought. That's why I say, you're done talking the Panthers game. I say, you know what? I just brought it up because you are talking about the Kansas City game now.
I don't want to talk about this game, but I have to, so let's talk about it.
I didn't care about Indian team. I had to choose one team out of these two teams. I don't care about any of these two teams. I'm sorry. No offense about your team. Yeah, this game I didn't care who wins and what, who wins and lose. I had to choose one of the teams. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. It's a horrible game from Brock Purdy. He had 212 yards passing, but that's that's normal. 1731 incompletion rate of like quick maths, that's nearly 50%. 0 touchdowns and threw 3 interceptions. What makes this worse about this loss is Mahomes didn't even have a great game either. 154 yards, 16 of 27, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions himself. The thing with
He,
Mahomes, they're
speaking
6-0 for the first time in the Mahomes era. And
speaking of,
Mahomes is not playing his best, which is scary.
yeah, I can tell because he's on my fantasy football.
This guy has him in fantasy and he's not winning games, but he's winning games in real NFL.
Yeah,
All right, moving on to our NFL Week 7 standings. We have a lot of changes, and by a lot, I mean just 2 in the NFC. So let's get into it. Starting off with the NFC, let's just go through that. The East, Commanders lead 5-2. Eagles are 4-2, right behind them. In the West, Seahawks are 4-3 after their win recently, while the Cardinals and 49ers are 3-4.
and the Rams are 2-4.
Mm-hmm. In the North, Lions take over, being 5-1, tied with the Vikings at 5-1. But obviously, beating the Vikings, they get the tiebreaker over them. So they're
Then you have
leading the NFC
then
North.
the Packers 5-2, and the Chicago Bears are 4-2.
Yep. And then to finish off the NFC, the South, Falcons are 4-3, tied with the Buccaneers at 4-3, but they have a tiebreaker because they've won more games in the division.
And the
Saints
Saint
are 2-5.
2-5,
Yep,
and
you got that.
Carolina Panthers assistant 1-6. Sorry.
As for the AFC, Bills are 5-2, Dolphins are 2-4. You got the other 2.
Jets are 2-5, and New England Patriots 1-6. There's 3 teams are like 3 teams 1-6 or 2 teams.
I believe 4.
Okay, one. Hold on.
Browns, Pats, Titans,
Titans
Panthers.
has not play.
Titans have a
They
Titans
had
have a
bye.
bye. That's right.
Yeah, they had bye. Right now, only
Okay, so
4
Browns, Patriots, Panthers, and as
for
mentioned.
now. For now, yeah.
And then in the AFC West, the Chiefs obviously winning. They're still undefeated, 6-0. They had their bye and they still won. So they're 6-0. Broncos are right behind them, 4-3 though. So
Then
look
you have
out, Chiefs.
Chargers. The Chargers is 3-3, and Las Vegas Raiders 2-5.
Yep. In the North, Ravens still lead. They're 5-2. Steelers are tied with them at 5-2, but obviously tiebreaker from last week.
And the
Or
Bengals are 3 and
couple weeks.
4, and the Bengals won 2 in a row. Let's go! Woo-hoo! We need it. The Bengals need that win. We need to
Yeah.
win one more. We need to win out now. Last
Winning
game's
out
last
should
game's gonna
guarantee a
be
spot.
tough game for the Bengals.
We'll talk more about that later.
And 1-6, the Browns. They're
Yeah,
they're done. If they keep losing 2 more games, they're done for. If
for
the
sure.
playoffs starts now, they're out.
If the draft started now, they'd have top 4 pick.
Yeah.
Yep. To finish it off, the Texans are 5-2 now. Colts are right behind them though, surprising. They're 4-3.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, crazy.
I
Oh yeah,
know.
Colts won 2 in a row. Then you have Jacksonville 2-5 and Titans 1-5 because they are not 1-6 because they had a bye week last week.
Yep.
Moving on, week 8 recap for
College football.
college
We're
football.
gonna quickly go through these unless there is something interesting about the game. Like this one specifically is a ranked team versus another ranked team where number 1 Texas
Went down,
lost
dang.
to the Georgia Bulldogs 30-15. I was actually watching this game. It's a pretty good game. So good job, Georgia.
Oregon Ducks 35-0 over Purdue Boars. Mike Fisher went to Purdue for college.
Nice.
Moving on.
Next, we had 2 ranked teams going on head-to-head again. This time it was 7th ranked Alabama taking on the Tennessee Volunteers, ranked 11. Volunteers won this game by a touchdown, 24-17, beating Alabama. So that's 2 teams that were a higher rank than the other team, losing to the other ranked team so far.
Number 8 ranked
This one was not a close.
LSU taking on Arkansas. Wow.
Next, we had Iowa
The,
State in a close one with UCF, winning 38-35.
the Big 12 teams. We have 16 teams now.
And to finish off this first page, we had the Clemson Tigers hosting Virginia. Cavaliers losing this one 31-48. Good win for the Tigers of Clemson.
Notre Dame 31-13 over Shores.
Georgia
No,
Tech.
Georgia Tech. Okay, I was making sure if I got that right or not.
Next, we had 13 ranked BYU hosting Oklahoma State. Another close game, 38-35. We saw this literally 2 games ago. So yeah. Then we had Texas A&M 34-24 against Mississippi State. Then we had Kansas State, the Wildcats visiting
Both Big 12 teams.
Yep, visiting West Virginia, winning 45-18. Then we had 19th ranked Missouri taking on Auburn, both Tiger teams. One came out on top, and that was Missouri, winning 21-17. And to finish this page off, we had SMU Mustangs going over to Stanford, beating Cardinal 40-10. 3 more games for you here. We had Michigan against Illinois.
Both ranked
Both
teams.
these teams ranked. Yep.
24-22, 21-7. Michigan 24 Wolverines and Illinois, right? 22.
Then we had 23 ranked Army hosting East Carolina. The Black Knights winning 45-28. And to finish off our top 25 games that we have here, we had the Navy Midshipmen ranked 25th take on the Charlotte 49ers, winning 51-17.
Right?
Then we had our highest total. We're going to these other categories that we always go to every week. Highest total in overtime was 63 points. That was between Louisiana Tech and New Mexico State. The Aggies winning 33-30. Then our biggest differential we had here was our other ranked team that we didn't mention. That was Indiana Hoosiers winning 56-7 over Nebraska. Miami, ranked 6, took on Louisville and had a total score of 97. And this was without overtime, 52-45. And then to finish off, we have our
Wow.
teams.
Same
Just want to say,
score Same score for both teams.
Let's start with my game. We beat Wyoming and the Cowboys over here in San Jose State, winning 24-14.
Same deal with the Bearcats, 24-14. Week 8.
Top 25 buys. These were the teams that didn't play this past week. We had third-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, fourth-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, 15th-ranked Boise State Broncos, 18th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels, and 20th-ranked Pitt Panthers. And here is our new AP Top 25 for Week 9. Have a lot of changes here. So let's get to them. Oregon, starting off at number 1 there. They move up 1 from 2. Georgia moves up to 2. That is a gain of 3. Penn State and Ohio State both have buys. They stay the same. Texas, because losing to Georgia, they move down to 5. Then you had Miami stay the same spot at 6. We had Tennessee move up 4 spots to 7. LSU stays at 8. Clemson moves up 1 spot to 9. Iowa State moves down 1 spot to 10. BYU moves up 2 spots to 11. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame stay at 12. The Hoosiers of Indiana move up 3 spots to 13. Texas A&M stays the same at 14. At 15 is Alabama, who obviously we mentioned earlier lost to Tennessee. They move down to 15. Kansas State moves up 1 spot to 16. Boise State actually moves down 2 spots, despite not even playing a game, to 17. Ole Miss at 18 stays there. Pitt moves up to 19. That's 1
And they didn't
more
play
than they were. And they
either.
didn't even play. Illinois over at 20 moves up 2 spots. Missouri at 21 moves down 2 spots, which is why Pitt moved up 1. SMU moves up 1, loses a spot actually. They were 21 last week, and they didn't even play either. Or they did play. What am I talking about? Sorry.
I don't know.
I was thinking last week. Last week they had a bye.
Yeah.
Army stays at 23. Navy moves up to 24 after being 25th. And our new guy, go ahead and press it because this also segues into the guy that is out. It is Vanderbilt. So the Commodores beat Ball State Cardinals 14-24, or 24-14 actually, rather. So they moved to 25. As for the team that's out, it's Michigan, who, as we mentioned earlier, lost to Illinois 21-7. They were ranked 24th, so now they're out.
Moving on. World Series.
Yep, the World Series is starting. Here's your teams. It's the Yankees versus the Dodgers. How did we get here? Let's talk about it. We had 7 games in the ALCS and NLCS combined since we last checked in with you guys. So let's quickly go over them. In the ALCS, the Yankees lost 5-7 to the Guardians, so it was 2-1, then won 2 straight, 8-6, 5-2 to clinch a spot into the World Series. As for the Dodgers, they beat the Mets 8-0 to make it 2-1, then beat the Mets again 10-2 to make it 3-1. Then Mets win 12-6 to make it 3-2. And finally, the Dodgers won 10-5 to make it 4-2. Dodgers move on. So yeah, that's our World Series matchup. First game, it says on the bottom there, will be Friday, October the 25th. We won't be checking back in until Game 4 has been played. So for all we know, one of these teams could sweep the other, and we would come back to say, hey, so-and-so won. Because Game 2 will be on Saturday, then Game 3 will be on Monday, and Game 4 will be on Tuesday.
The day we record.
Day we record, so it should be done, but that game should be done by the time we start recording. We can update you guys too. And yeah, WNBA playoffs. Since last we checked in, it was a 1-1 series between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. But now it is 3-2. Minnesota Lynx dropped a game to make it 2-1 for the Liberty, 80-77. Liberty then lost 80-82, make it 2-2, and forced a game 5 winner takes all, where the final score was 67-62. Liberty win the game. So we just want to say congratulations to the New York Liberty on winning the 2024 WNBA Finals. This is their first in their history, despite making it last year and a few other times. With the WNBA ending, we had the NBA beginning. And we had 2 good games. We had the Celtics hosting the Knicks for the ring ceremony game. Celtics won this one 132-109. And for our later game that happened, I was actually watching this next one. It was the Los Angeles Lakers hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves, winning 110-103. It got close near the end. Me and Jay Lakers were watching it. Want to clarify, legally watching it. So don't come at us for illegally watching anything. We don't.
Moving on, right?
Yep. Well, Premier League came back this week, match week 8. Let's go over the standings here. Our top 10 here: Liverpool 7-0-1, Man City 6-2-0, Arsenal and Aston Villa are 5-2-1, Brighton is 4-3-1, Chelsea is 4-2-2, Tottenham 4-1-3, Nottingham Forest 3-4-1, Newcastle 3-3-2, and Fulham rounds out our top 10 at 3-2-3. Continuing on, we had 2 other teams with 3-2-3 as a record. That's Bournemouth and Man United. But Fulham has the advantage due to the goal difference and goals for. Brentford 3-1-4, Leicester City 2-3-3, West Ham and Everton are 2-2-4. Ipswich Town is 0-4-4, so not even a single win. Crystal Palace also not a single win, 0-3-5. And Southampton and Wolves have only mustered 1 tie, no wins, and 7 losses each. And now it's time for everyone's favorite section of the JOTO Show. It's the predictions and our current standings. And Jay Lakers wins this week by 1 game.
Wow.
And pretty good records, actually. 10-5, 11-4.
And
Not bad.
And our total records are tied.
66-41 each.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we're tied now, I actually want to do this. I said this a few videos ago. I don't remember if I put it in the video or not. I'm going to make a poll with 3 options. Who will have the better record? Jay Lakers, me, or will we end in a tie somehow? And right now, we're somehow tied.
And we have 1 more week. We have week 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. No, 17.
That's 11 more weeks.
Yeah, 18. There's 18 weeks now. They added a new week.
It's 11 more weeks before playoffs.
Yep.
And then we'll even do playoff predictions too.
Yeah. Moving on.
So yeah, let's move on, see what's going on. Here's our week 8 buys. There is
none.
No buys. No buys this week. Every team will be playing. Starting with Thursday night, we have the Minnesota Vikings, currently 5-1, going over to LA and taking on the Rams. This is Sam Darnold versus Matthew Stafford, QB battle. This is their second meeting all time only. Matthew being a former Lion, Darnold being a former Jet, Panther, and you name it. But yeah, second meeting all time. If we look into their history, though, Vikings are 22-16 and have 2 ties against the Rams all time. So yeah. And we do this every time with Thursday night football now. We look into their injury reports. That way I can get a full-fledged video out for Sundays and Mondays game for injury reports. That way I don't have to stress about doing it
That would be a
immediately
separate.
after.
He already did the video. We'll put in the description, and he will do a separate video.
I will be doing another video this coming week. We have a lot more to talk about there, so I will probably be butting in more than I did last week. Starting with Minnesota here at the top, I separated them by a space.
Nice.
Blake Cashman, Minnesota, suffered a toe injury. He's doubtful to play this game. Akaleb Evan has a hip injury. He's questionable. TJ Hawkinson, with his knee injury, is questionable to make his debut this season. He's been out all season, the tight end for the Vikings. So he actually has a chance to play. Aaron Jones was tweaked up a little bit in his hamstring area. He's questionable to play. And Theo Jackson, with a hand injury, should be okay and should be ready to go. But there is a slight chance he doesn't. As for the Rams, Cooper Kupp with an ankle injury that he suffered a few weeks back. He is good to go this week. Reports have been saying. Braden Fisk with a back injury. He's doubtful to play for the Rams. Troy Reader as well, doubtful with a hamstring injury. Puka Nacua with his knee injury he suffered a few weeks ago is also doubtful, but there is a slight chance he could play depending on if he even practices tomorrow. He did practice limitedly today, but we'll see how well he does, and we'll see if he's good to go. And for Neville Gallimore, he also has a shoulder injury. He's doubtful to play this game as well.
Moving on.
Somebody's got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, you do. I have bloopers to do.
Yeah, you have a lot of bloopers to do, which is not as hard as this, because I got to do it the same night and then the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have our Bengals matchup. We like to show the Bengals, obviously, because Jay Lakers is a Bengals fan. They don't have a night game.
No, it's a daytime game. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Bengals faces the Eagles. I heard rumors might be going around. Bengals might put a dome on their. We don't know yet. We might make it. They might put a dome on their sand. We don't know yet.
A roof?
Like a dome roof or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, a dome-shaped roof?
Yeah. We don't know yet. It's rumors. It was just
A lot
rumors.
of teams are thinking of that. Even the Niners are thinking that.
I know. I
To
heard
put
a
a
lot.
roof.
Yeah, I know. I heard a lot of teams are doing that. Yeah, it's
It's
rumors.
useful, though. It gets tiring with the sun hitting you.
And plus, though,
But and snow too
yeah,
when
we're
winter
cold.
comes around.
Yeah, we're cold weather.
Yeah.
And this
But
is
let's
the
talk
first.
about this game.
And this is the first time
Yeah,
Joe Burrow played against the Eagles. Right?
Yep, that's where I was about to segue into. Yes, let's talk about this game.
Sorry.
Jalen Hurts versus Joe Burrow. No, you're good. I believe this might be the second. No, it's the first. I think when I looked it up, it's the first time, and this is
It
their first
is.
meeting all time between these two QBs. If we look at history, though,
This is not
the
the first
Bengals.
time for the Bengals. For the quarterback,
No.
yes, not for the Bengals.
Yeah, for the Bengals, they are 9-3-2 against the Eagles. They have 2 ties against them, 9 wins, 3 losses. What amazes me, actually, Joe Burrow, I remember, he did play the Eagles once, but it wasn't against Jalen Hurts. And in that game, he actually tied with the Eagles. They tied. That's one of their 2 ties they have all time against the Eagles. Moving on.
Your game.
Yeah,
Must
it's
win.
my game. Sunday night football. Thank you for saying it for me. I was bound to say it. This is a must win for both teams, but for me,
Oh
it's
yeah,
a must win for the Niners.
I forgot about the Cowboys must win.
Yep. Cowboys are 3-3. Niners are 3-4. Cowboys just had a bye week. We saw how that went for a lot of teams. One team lost, that was undefeated, and the
You
other
know
team
what?
stayed undefeated.
They need that bye week to rush up.
They did. They have a few. They had a few injuries, so yeah.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. This is Dak Prescott versus Brock Purdy. Already their third meeting all time, if you include playoffs. And yeah, 49ers and Cowboys are currently tied at 17 and 17 with a tie, including playoffs all time. So again, another tie somehow between these two teams. And then our Monday Night Football. We only have one this week. Thank God, I'm tired of ESPN Plus. We had the New York Giants at 2-5, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers at 5-2 in Pittsburgh. Monday night, Daniel Jones versus Russell Wilson, their first meeting all time somehow.
What was Wilson?
Yeah, somehow them meeting for the first time. The Giants actually have the better record against the Steelers all time. They're 44-31, and you won't believe it, 3 ties all
Holy
time against the
mamma
Steelers.
mia.
They have tied 3 times in their history. But yeah, Giants have the advantage all-time record-wise, 44-31, and the 3 ties. But looking at the records, we'll see how this game goes. We'll actually look at our predictions right now. It's our picks for Week 8. Taylor,
Okay.
did you start off?
Monday night. Not Monday night. Thursday. I'm so tired, guys. We're doing this wait again.
Like we always do.
Thursday night, Minnesota. I want Baltimore over Cleveland. I don't want either team. I'm choosing Baltimore. Detroit, Miami, Jets, Buccaneers, Washington, Jacksonville, Houston, Chargers, Bills, Bengals, um, Bengals, Holland, Broncos, Las Vegas, Cowboys, and Pittsburgh. Almost the same
Yeah,
thing.
almost. I did the math. It's 5 different picks, it looks like. Let's see. I'll do the counting right now. Minnesota, Baltimore, both the same. Detroit as well. But I got Arizona instead of Miami here. Both got the Jets here. I got Atlanta over Tampa Bay. Both got Washington. I got Green Bay over Jacksonville. That's 3 different games. Houston, both got it. Both got the Chargers. Both Buffalo, both Cincinnati and Denver. I got Kansas City, honestly, over the Raiders. I'm going to be realistic here about this game. I don't see it happening. You never know. Any given day.
I'm ready for the whatever Bengals in Las Vegas soon. That's on the
Oh, that's
schedule.
going to be a good game.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be a good game.
I think it's in Las
Defensive game for
Vegas.
sure.
I
Vegas
think,
defense is still pretty good.
I think it's in Las Vegas. Go ahead.
Yeah. And to finish it off, I got San Fran over Dallas and Pittsburgh for Monday night. So it's 5 different picks that I counted up via hands, but yeah. So
I was
someone will have a better
wrong.
record.
I was wrong. Raiders come to the Bengals November 3rd.
Ah. Dang,
So,
that's only what, 2 weeks? That's next week? After this week?
yeah, because November 1st is on the Thursday. On Friday. Halloween's on Thursday. Yep.
Well, mark your calendar for that one.
And now,
Last thing we like to say
thank God.
is
Sorry.
thanks. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been a long episode 8, but we appreciate
Almost hour and 40. Hour and after we're done doing this will be hour and 40 minutes.
hour 40 before the editing. It'll probably be cut down to probably an hour something. Editor Tony, you can put the exact number because I don't know. I'm not editing this yet. But yeah, appreciate all the support recently. A lot of subscribers we've gained recently. Not a lot, but more than I expected in these past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
And
for sure. For sure,
yeah,
yeah.
when you first start, you don't expect anyone really.
No.
You reach out, you hit some people, they give you
We
like
do need to do some short videos out
3.
there too.
We need to work more on that too, yeah, especially
Yeah.
for breaking news.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you all. And J Lakers, hit him with the outro.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, notification bell on this channel, follow on X and Instagram. Subscribe to all 3 of my channels, all 3 Tony channels. Everything will be in the description. Guys, hope you guys like the first episode bloopers. The playlist will be in the description. More bloopers will be coming every Friday. Remember I said we were saying we might do bloopers? They're coming soon. Very happen. I hope you guys like it. See you guys on next time. Bye.